Welcome into A to Z Sports Prime Time on this Thursday night. Thursday Night Football, currently a blowout right now in favor of the Detroit Lions, 24-3. So we figured we'd pop on early and see if you guys didn't need something else to attract your attention. We'll talk about quick fixes on the offensive line. Greg Cosell posed a solution. We'll see what you guys think of it later on. We will get to who you got in the second half. Seems a bit lopsided right now, but we'll get your estimation on Thursday Night Football and do a weekend bounce back before we wrap things up. A lot of good stuff to get into over the course of tonight's show. We would be happy to have your participation across all of the platforms that you're hanging out here with us. If you're on Twitter, please retweet the show, bottom right-hand corner of your screen. If you are on YouTube or on Twitch, you can like the video. You can subscribe to the channel. You can make sure to get in on the action there as well. Once you've done both of those things, tell a friend to do the same. We're always grateful to have more of you guys hanging out here with us on the Primetime program. And once you've done that, more of you will start to trickle in as we get closer to halftime of Thursday Night Football. Meanwhile, we can go ahead and get this thing started because it is a rout at Lambeau Field tonight. Welcome into A to Z Sports Prime Time from the Zen Sports Studios. I'm your host, Buck Rising. If you're new to the show, and I am proud, as always, to be presented to you by the great people at Zen Sports. Download the Zen Sports app, plug in the promo code ATOZTN, and they will give you unlimited cash back, unlimited 5% cash back for your first 15 days of wagering. A to Z TN in the Zen Sports app is how you get involved. True Math Fitness in the Gulch. Go to truemathfitness.com for your first workout free. As a Middle Tennessee resident, nobody is going to put you in better position to succeed than truemathfitness.com on your fitness goals and the law offices of Amanda J. Gentry. Wherever justice demands, they've got you covered. AmandaJGentry.com is where you go to make sure that your constitutional rights are being protected. So, solutions for the Titans at left tackle. We've talked a little bit about it this week, and we've approached it from a variety of different angles. But Titan Thorse has got the notifications going tonight. You know what? We're going to see if we can't fix this once and for all. If I close out of the text message situation on my laptop, will that stop the texts from coming? I don't know. It's impossible. It really is the worst. I swear to God, I'm gonna have to call IT Zach and see if he can help me figure out how the hell to turn the notifications off on my laptop for the text messages. But we'll see if that. Damn it, it didn't work. Bert just texted me. You're the worst. You're absolutely the worst. We'll see if we can't survive this thing together, shall we? But the point being, left tackle solutions, they are few and far between. The question that I would ask you on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and on Twitch tonight, if you would be so kind as to get involved, is what is the best solution for the Titans at left tackle right now? We'll talk about it together on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and on Twitch. Right after I remind you that your Two Rivers Ford take is made possible by Two Rivers Ford. Go to Two Rivers Ford in Mount Juliet. Quality American-made Ford vehicles. Award-winning customer service is what Two Rivers Ford offers you. 40 years, as I said, doing business here in Middle Tennessee as a locally owned and operated company. Two Rivers Ford in Mount Juliet, powered by Ford, driven by people. So what is the best solution for the Titans at left tackle right now? Robert Lehue says, still don't know how to operate the phone yet. Buck, it's not the phone. The phone is not the issue. The notifications go to my laptop too, which is, it gives you a good glimpse into how many texts I get a day, which is my nightmare. But either way, we'll see if we can't mitigate it as best we can. Derek R. says, Radens. Eric Alonzo agrees. For C. Ross, the Sauce Boss. What a name. NPF. It's where he played in college, and maybe he'll look better on the left. So I was talking to Greg Cosell about this yesterday. We spent the first 20 minutes of the podcast. If you haven't heard the install yet, 10 out of 10 recommend if you're somebody who wants to hear more about this offensive line and specifically Andre Dillard's issues. But just for reference, Greg and I spent a good bit of time talking about it earlier this week, yesterday, in fact, on the podcast, and this is what he kind of outlined as being the primary issue for Dillard.
Obviously, I'm sure people in Nashville are really unhappy with Dillard, and he has clearly played poorly. That's what the tape shows. There's no other way around it. As I've said to you many times, I'm not an O-line coach. I've talked to many over the years. I've watched a lot of tape. He has one particular issue. He has a few, but one in particular that, to me, seems as if it's coachable. And again, this is no knock on a coach. I'm not a coach. But he is almost always late and wide with his hands in pass protection. And so what happens is the pass rusher, and in this case, arguably the best edge pass rusher in the league, in Garrett, what that does is it allows the pass rusher to make first contact into your chest. And that's really hard to react to, because if he's in your chest, he's just pushing you back. And the thing about Dillard is he's not naturally strong. So if someone gets in his chest, he can't really anchor and recover that way. So just so people can understand, I think it's a good enough visual. You tell me, Buck, when I say he's late and wide with his hands. Is that clear visually in your mind?
Yes. So, you understand exactly what Greg's talking about when he says late and wide with his hands. That's why Dillard is so susceptible to the bull rush. A to Z Sports Primetime is presented by Zen Sports. Download the app, plug in the promo code A to ZTN. You can get unlimited 5% cash back on your first 15 days of wagering, whether that's Thursday night football, whether that's Sunday football, Saturday football, Monday football, baseball, all of the things that you want to wager on. Zen Sports has every major sport available there for you. Plug in that promo code A to ZTN, unlimited 5% cash back for your first 15 days of wagering. Gambling problem, call the Tennessee Red Line, 1-800-889-9789. Terms and conditions do apply. Must be 21 or up in Tennessee to bet. It is, it's a testament to how much better an average quarterback can look behind good offensive line play. I present to you Jared Goff. Like if Ryan Tannehill, if any average to below average quarterback had the kind of protection that Jared Goff has right now in Detroit, they would be able to succeed at a relatively high level. Now, they also have a skilled offensive coordinator in Ben Johnson. Really, Sam Laporta, the rookie tight end, has been making play after play after play consistently for them. But it does show you how big a difference offensive line play makes. From Detroit to Tennessee, you understand the deficiencies there. And you see exactly what it is that Greg's talking about when he describes how it is that Dillard loses these bull rush reps. Dre Wilson says he is happy with Andre Dillard. Lewis says he is happy with Andre Dillard's performance thus far because he is trying. And, Lewis, I've talked about this before. I don't dispute that he's given his best effort. Really. I think Andre Dillard is doing everything that he is capable of. The problem is he doesn't seem to be capable of holding up at this level for any extended period of time. I think the absence of a degree of competitive toughness is something that is a fair assessment of Andre Dillard. And maybe he can find himself in this opportunity, because it's only 3 games in. I know it seems like a lot worse because of how much the quarterback is being sacked 3 games into the season, but to date, Andre Dillard's effort, Lewis, is appreciated, but it is not enough, right? The effort alone is not enough because he's just an insufficient player right now. So the question is, how much longer can you survive the Andre Dillard experience? And I think the answer is sooner rather than later. They're going to have to make a change, or at least I would think they need to make a change. Derek R says, I'm tired of pretending like Goff isn't on the fringe of great quarterbacks. He is and deserves his respect. Okay, you can you can do that if you want to. I'm certainly not in the business of hitching my wagon to Jared Goff, absent probably a top 10 offensive line group and a offensive coordinator who's going to be a head coach next year, I'm okay on the Jared Goff experience. But if you would like, he's working really, really well within the system. This is all that you can ask of a quarterback, to operate the system efficiently. Jared Goff is doing exactly that, but on the fringe of great quarterbacks, gives Jared Goff a degree of credit there that, while the execution is deserved and is good and is efficient and is leading them to success, Jared Goff is still very much Jared Goff with the deficiencies that brings. And, that hasn't gone away. They're just putting him in a system that allows him to be amplified and mask some of his deficiencies. I think Ben Hall says, how has he made it in the NFL and lacks competitive toughness? Because he hasn't had to play. Ben, that's the biggest thing. He hasn't had to play. He's been on his rookie contract. He is 5 years into the NFL. And the idea that he would last this long on potential alone is not overwhelmingly surprising, because a lot of dudes who, maybe aren't worth the opportunities that they get last longer in the NFL as former first-round picks. This was always going to be a Band-Aid type situation. And the question was, can it be a pleasant surprise, basically? Can you get some degree of reward out of a player who's not really had the opportunity? He's lost time because of injury, and then wasn't able to crack the starting lineup in Philadelphia, because the starting lineup in Philadelphia was really, really good. So Dillard, lacking competitive toughness, but still managing in the NFL, he's a good athlete. Like, I know that may sound like it's beyond belief, but like, Andre Dillard is a legitimately top tier athlete. He's got traits that would indicate that he is worth the pedigree of a first round pick. It just hasn't materialized at the NFL level. So I think that, there's a lot of dudes who get continued opportunities based on pedigree, and Andre Dillard is a good example of that. They tried to make it work on a budget here in Tennessee, and right now the returns have been poor, and they may need to make an adjustment. We'll see if he cannot make some improvements. Goku, a couple of you guys are asking about Skoronski, whether he'll be back on Sunday or not. I am skeptical that Peter Skoronski is going to play today, just to kind of play on Sunday, but we'll see what happens through the rest of this week. They'll have one more day of practice. He was at practice. He did not practice today. So I think he's probably going to miss this third straight game, dealing with the appendectomy situation. So I do not anticipate. We'll see. They may rule him out on Friday. They may rule him out tomorrow. They may rule him as questionable. But I am not seeing a situation. I'm not seeing a situation that makes it likely for Peter Skoronski to be available against the Bengals. So again, he'll be without your top offensive lineman for the third straight game. He'll be back next week, probably, says Dre Wilson. I don't know what the timeline looks like, but I know it's unlikely to be this week. Rashid says maybe Dillard is a guard. We've talked about this. He is most certainly not a guard. He is a left tackle or nothing. So if he can't play for you on the left side, he needs to be riding the bench. Goku says, imagine Kyle Phillips comes back and balls out. Excuse me. It's possible. There's no evidence to suggest that is likely. But, it's possible that Kyle Phillips comes back. I don't know when he will be immediately available. If he will be immediately available, he has to miss at least this next game before they can put him in the return to play protocol, activate him, or designate him to return from injured reserve. And then ultimately they will have to then activate him to the active roster. But right now, with Keiris Jackson on injured reserve, they do need Kyle Phillips to come back and not just make an impact on offense, but be a contributor, be reliable on special teams, which is, again, something that he has yet to prove. Shrike says, I very much doubt he'd be back. Talking about Skoronski, I assume. Even next week is fast, especially considered it actually ruptured. Yeah, excuse me. I don't know. I've never had a ruptured appendix, knock on wood, so I can't speak to the timeline. I can't speak to what that experience feels like, but he talked about it in the locker room yesterday, and he made it sound like a pretty unpleasant ordeal. So A to Z Sports Prime Time. Let's talk about who you got as we get ready to get to the second half, or halftime rather, of Thursday Night Football. Packers or Lions? Who do you think is going to come out victorious in this game? 27-3 right now in favor of Detroit, though Green Bay did come back from a 17-point deficit last week. We will see what happens. We will discuss together right after I remind you that the Primetime Show is presented by the law offices of Amanda J. Gentry. Wherever justice demands, Amanda J. and her team are there to protect your constitutional rights. They are particularly passionate about protecting your constitutional right to be a father to your child. If you are somebody who is in need of their services, find out how they can help you today at amandajgentry.com. So Lions feel like a safe pick here. 34 seconds left on the clock. It's a 1st and 10 for Jordan Love and the Packers at the Green Bay 25. They'll see if they can't get points on the board. 2 timeouts left right now. It looks like they'll have to take at least one there as time is winding down. No, I guess they're going to get right back to the line. But that seems to be ill-advised. 19 seconds and counting. We'll see if they can't get within field goal range. Looks like he is going to be under considerable amount of pressure. Detroit's defense has been mugging him all day out there. Andrew Frill says they are challenging the Titans for the lowest offensive output. Yeah, but even then, I know the yardage is bad, but 94 yards of offense still is disgusting that the Titans were only able to produce 94 yards of offensive football in an NFL game. That's wild. You okay? Sam is asking me if I'm okay. I feel fine. I just have a little bit of a tickle in my throat that I can't seem to cough away. So who you got? I'd take the Lions safely, just for the sake of moving on and make sure that I don't hack through the rest of the show. Detroit has something really, really fun going on here, and it seems like it's going to be sustainable on both sides of the ball. Quick weekend bounce back. Who needs to bounce back most in sports? In the comment section, let me know if you would be so kind. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and on Twitch. Facebook back, by the way, Sunday, apparently. That is going to be when we the A to Z Sports Network is apparently released from Facebook jail. American Toff says, COVID cough. I don't think so. Don't think so. But I am going to, a lot of airplanes for me during the football season. So I try to take as many vitamins and supplements as humanly possible. But the cough just materialized today. But, out of precaution, I am due for a booster. So I'm going to go get my COVID booster and my flu shot probably tomorrow after work. I'm about to. It's obviously that time of year. So anyway, who needs to bounce back most in sports? In the comment section, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and on Twitch. Who you got? If not, the Colts is a must-win. Colts is going to be a must-win anyway. It's a divisional game. You have to win your divisional games. Sam says, I think the Lions might actually win if they play on Thanksgiving this year. Absolutely. Brandon says he hears the Boo Birds at Lambeau. Understandably so. This is a really, really tough outing. We're only, I'm sure, moments away from Al Michaels ripping everything that's going on Thursday Night Football because he is also tired of watching the Green Bay Packers on offense. But who needs to bounce back most? Man, the Chicago Bears. The Lions are playing tonight. Amon-Ra St. Brown has already scored a touchdown, and he does a podcast with his brother, Equanimous. Now, Equanimous plays for the Chicago Bears, and the Chicago Bears, it's tough to be a Dolphins fan, it's tough to be a Broncos fan this week, tough to be a Titans fan this week. But it's definitely tough to be a Bears fan this season, and I think this clip is pretty evident.
We'll go. You go out on during the season
if we win.
Really? So how does that work?
Hasn't worked in a long time. So yeah.
So Amon-Ra is asking his brother Equanimous, "Do you go out during the season?" And he says, "If we win," and then quickly adds, "Yeah, it hasn't worked out in a long time because the Bears, they don't do a whole lot of winning." So bounce back for the Bears. Titans need a bounce back. I need a bounce back, apparently. I need a cough drop, if nothing else, here on the Primetime Show. So we'll let you enjoy halftime in the second half of Thursday Night Football. Radio show tomorrow from 10 to 1 on 104.5 The Zone. We'll have Coach Dave McGinnis. We'll have Adam Sparks, the Knoxville News Sentinel. We'll talk a little Vols ahead of South Carolina, that game in Knoxville this weekend, and see how it is that the Titans can try and get a win over the Bengals at home this weekend. If you're going to Nissan Stadium, look forward to seeing you guys. As always, we'll be doing the League Company Countdown to Kickoff out front of the stadium in front of the Pro Shop. That's gate 1 on the east side of Nissan Stadium. So if you want to come say hi to Blaine Bishop, Mickey Ryan, I'll also be there. We'd certainly enjoy having you. Oh, Kayla Anderson as well. We'd certainly enjoy seeing you out there on the League Company Countdown to Kickoff before the Titans take on the Bengals. And, of course, we'll be there to cover the game. Have a great rest of your night. If I don't talk to you tomorrow, have a great weekend. And we will get back at it Sunday night here from the home studio on A to Z Sports Prime Time.